Welcome, everyone, to the show. We are doing our first official Tony Talk show since Tony is now back in stride again. So I'm one of your co-hosts, Brian Bacchus.
In stride again. Hey, y'all. It's Tony.
Jamal's on assignment today. He's actually doing some really great things in the community. So we'll let him talk to you about that when he comes back tomorrow. But Tony's going to fill in for him in his place. So I think we're going to dialogue for a minute and then go into the slides unless you want to go right into the slides.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Excuse me. First things first, I'll just say this. I had someone that was going to come on today, and she got called into a meeting. She's from the community. Nicole Ross Mitchell, Chuck, and Nicole, for the past few years, have owned this, not a group home, but a residential care facility up on Wapello, just west of Marengo. And in the care facility, I think it was licensed for 10 beds for respite care and elder care. And I think they had 8 clients or whatever. So Monday, Nikki and I were just having a girlfriend conversation. And I asked about this one resident. And she said, oh, she died 2 days ago. And so we started talking about every single one of her residents that she had that had to be evacuated and then put into a new care facility because theirs burned down, has now passed away since the fires. And then that got me thinking about, and we were just talking, and I said, could you come on the show maybe and talk about what the impact has had on people that are in like these care facilities, right? The residential care facilities, respite homes, and even group homes. Because like I was saying the other day, Tim Tucker owned, I think, a couple of group homes, one for boys, one for girls, that burned down. And when you think about, or we think about the full impact on, we've talked a bunch of times about what it has done to our elderly community. And that's anybody, in my opinion. I'm an elder, or getting ready to be at 60 in a couple months. But, you know, we have people in mid to late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100. And so that's the more elderly of our community than somebody in their 20s or 30s or whatever. So when I say that, I'm not like dogging people's ages or anything, because now
we're there.
We're there, right? And so I say we're still the middle age, but regardless, we are.
Yeah, we didn't say that when we were 20. Telling our
exactly. But I'm not an elderly, but I am on the upper rung of that scale, right? So the fact is, it impacts people so incredibly differently. And Nikki was going to come and talk about that, but she got called into a meeting, so she couldn't. And this is how God be working stuff out. Yesterday, I'm a Star News subscriber, have been for many, many years. And yesterday I got a news article not sent to me, but that came in my inbox. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. So I gave the link to Brian. He's going to bring the article up and put the link in the chat. But this article literally came out yesterday saying, did the Eaton and Palisades fires lead to 440 more LA County deaths? This study says so. Now we know, I think there's a total of 24 like known deaths that happened as a result of the fires, meaning people that did not get out of their home, whether they were found on the front lawn or in their beds or whatever, right? We know that number was 24. However, and I think 18 of that was Altadena, or I don't know, it might be the whole 24 or whatever, but we had quite a bit in Altadena, including the one that they found last month, I think, or 6 weeks ago on Boston, the south of like where Elliott is. And so here we are 7 months later, 7 months, right? It was January 7th and 8th, and today's the 7th of August. So we're at 7 months. And this article was published yesterday, Wednesday the 6th, saying that the Palisades and Eaton fires officially claimed 31 lives, but a new study suggests there were actually more than 400 deaths attributed to the fires. And so it says, and Brian, did you put that link up yet in the chat for people? Because they can look at it themselves. Not announcement time, but it's all good.
No, that's not the right one. It's supposed to be. Let's add. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So, and then he has the link on the screen if you want to take a look at it. But I'm reading through this article, and the researchers, some from LA, some from Finland, and they published this in the medical journal JAMA, which is a journal for American Medical Association. But it estimates through a mathematical modeling that 440 deaths, it says January 1 to February 1, were due to the effects of the wildfires. So that if it only was from January 5, which is when the Palisades, I believe, to February 1, that's a huge number. And even beyond January, up to these 7 months, there are still residual things like people's parents who, were stressed out to the point where they had a stroke and went in the hospital and then they passed away. Because the processes that were put in place were not easy to navigate for people, right? There were things like, get an SBA loan to rebuild your home. And then they go and they file for the SBA loan and they're approved. And then they get, like I know you experienced with FEMA, Brian, an email, a phone call or something saying you got to redo it. Like you've already done it. You've already put everything in there. And now they're saying they need you to redo it. That's very stressful. Even when I was visiting my parents yesterday, my mom was like, yeah, what happens with your psyche and, all this stuff. And then you're asked to do it again and again and again. And you're thinking about, you've got this entire total loss, right? Your whole everything for however many years. For them, being there since 68, my brother Jeff, who's 3 years younger than me, but Jeff came home from the hospital in that house. We moved there when I was 2. That's all Jeff knows. Our schools, Mama Alta School, which was now housing 2 schools, Rosebuds and another one, it's gone, right? Elliott, they've been tearing that down, right? That's like my elementary school and my junior high school. My original primary school was Audubon, K-3, right? But to go my park, we lived a block south and a block west of Farnsworth. Driving past there like we did the other day, we know that the structure.
I didn't recognize it.
You don't.
The house.
The structures are gone, but then I won't even say the disrepair, but the way the park itself looks now, down by like the baseball diamond and all that, everything is brown and overgrown, and I mean it looks horrible. And so what that does to your mental, for anybody who lost everything at the fire, when you drive around, it's great to see, yes, recovery, meaning everything has been removed and people are rebuilding, but people are just having to live through this continuously, daily. We're just trying to have to continuous recovery, right? And then the PTSD aspect, no one's ever going to forget this, right? So for some people, they're still having these recurring nightmares. Someone last week when we had the earthquake, like freaked out. And I was like, why do Californians put earthquake, on their Facebook or social media? Like, duh, we grew up with this. We sleep through them. They don't matter.
There's 20 of them happen a day. They're just
a day, right?
Point whatever.
Right. Yeah. And so, but last week it was a joke. I felt it. It was only a 4 or something. I usually don't feel anything under like a 5.1 or a 5.3, but it was a hard joke. And I was like, oh, okay, we just had a little earthquake. And the fact is, for some people, because of the fires, they now are traumatized by anything that's natural, right? Because this one girl was like, well, I haven't been able to sleep since the fires. And I'm like, and she was even freaked out about, the tsunami. I was like, girl, we're far enough inland. The tsunami is not going to reach us.
No,
but she was freaked out, right? And I was like, don't be freaked out. Like, I lived in Japan when I was in the Air Force, and we had tsunamis and we had typhoons, right? So typhoons are like a hurricane that are just in the Pacific instead of the Atlantic, but same thing, but it's typhoon. And then if an earthquake happens in Japan, there's always tsunamis, right? So I told her, I said, and I was on Okinawa on an island where they had these humongous jacks. They were cement, like a ball and jack, that surrounded the island, because when tsunamis come, or the winds and everything are crazy because of the typhoons, those are breakers. So I was telling her, I was like, don't be afraid of that. You're in Pasadena. It has to literally, a tsunami would have to get beyond downtown LA and all of that and come up to Pasadena. And you don't have to stress about that. But she was like, since the fires, anything freaks me out. I just can't sleep. I just can't, So the fact is, this stuff is real, right? And the effects of it on people's brains. And if you sit in it so long, it's going to be worse. Brian, you didn't sit in it. You immediately took action, right? By going live. And then now we have this podcast and we have the foundation. Not to say that you don't think about it, not to say that you don't cry about it or get emotional when you sit in it. But when you sit in it versus taking action towards recovery and towards happiness every single day, then you will get more depressed. You will get more angry about what happened. So, get up and take a walk and move and don't sit in it. But this was interesting to me that they're literally attributing 440 more deaths in LA County to the impacts of the fire. And it even talks about that second paragraph says researchers cited deaths directly and partially related to the wildfires, including lung and heart conditions made worse by smoke or stress. You guys have heard me coughing since I've been back. My allergies and asthma have really been acting up because the air has just been horrible. And then indirect deaths because of mental health impacts or lack of health care that a person may have received from the fires, and if their regular treatment regimes were interrupted. So, excuse me. So, it also talks about the study also caught the eye of our supervisor, who is Catherine Barker, right? Because Altadena is included in that and other surrounding burn areas. So it says this study's assertion that over 400 excess deaths are a result of our Los Angeles wildfires is concerning. This is a quote from Catherine. In response, I've asked our county's Department of Public Health to thoroughly review the findings and provide their input. It is critical that we understand the full scope of the wildfire's impacts. And then it talks about how to track them. It talks about the estimates of deaths, recent studies. There's a link to really break down this study and how they broke it down to get to that number. But there were other disaster studies. And I know that I spoke to some young ladies from UCLA that are in the psychology and mental health type, getting their degrees in that. Some are grad students, some are undergrads. And Dr. Vicki Mays emailed me yesterday, and I said I would love to continue working with the students and even bring them on the show so that we can talk about their findings. So she said, absolutely, she'll be able to wrangle them all together in September when school starts. So probably late September, we're going to have these students from UCLA who have also been doing these studies about the impact, the mental health impact. They've been interviewing people to see, how it has affected them, because it's incredibly important that we know this information and that we are making sure that people are aware of what their options are if they don't have healthcare providers. There's a lot, and we've advertised it and will continue to, but there's a lot of free counseling that's still being given in the Pasadena and Altadena area. And I will look in a minute when I read the slides if there's anything earmarked for like this week or not. But thank you, Brian, for highlighting that stuff about Ruben Juarez from University of Hawaii and Christy Eby of University of Washington. And even that one that says the Eaton and Palisades fires collectively destroyed more than 16,000 structures and officially left 31 people dead. We do know that. 12 in Palisades, 19 in Altadena. I think the Altadena number has gone up. Well, put it like this. I know of one personally on our block, on my parents' block, that nobody's ever heard from her again. Her house has now been cleared by the county or whatever, but haven't heard from Sally. So that she's probably not officially in that number, but it's really interesting. So I would say if you want to read this article in detail, go to the link that Brian has. He literally was creating the short link to say altadenatalks.org/death count. And I was like, absolutely not. That's too morbid. Let's say impact or something. So he changed it to Eaton Fire Impact. Thank you, Brian, for changing it, because I was like, I don't want it to just say death count.
Yeah, I'm too literal. So to give it
and that's
to
cool,
wrong.
but I was like,
Mm-mm.
So the fact is, go to that Eaton Fire Impact link to read this article, and then within the article in the second paragraph there is a link. It says the study. You can click on that word study and it will take you out to the actual study that these Finland researchers published in JAMA, and it kind of shows breakdowns of numbers. There's some supplemental content you can download, supplement 1 or 2, but on the results and all of that, and it has some charts.
They don't hold back from using that word, though.
Oh, I know. Excess deaths, because it is, yeah. So if people really want to understand more about what was in JAMA and the study, go to this altadenatalks.org/Eaton Fire Impact link, and then read it from the Star News, and then click on that study as well, so you can learn a little bit more about that. I wanted to just talk about that today because, again, Nicole's patients or residents that she had, which really became family. They weren't just people there. Yes, she had staff that are now displaced and have had to get other jobs, and she's doing some other stuff within the business. But until the structures are rebuilt, all the clients weren't there, the patients, the residents. And she said that they were really like family. So I believe that because you have these people that are living there with you. They lived upstairs, but and it's hard enough that you have to evacuate them and find placement for them. But the impact of that, then within 6 months, they're all passed away. So that's been really tough as well for Nikki, because it's emotional every time somebody who's in your care passes. And to have all of them pass away in, a 6-month period is also very traumatic. So just, I wanted to highlight that. And the boys and girls that were in group homes in Altadena and other residential care facilities who were impacted and who had to move away, it'd be interesting to find a study on, all those in the RCFs that have passed, but even on what happened to the youth that were in the group homes. Where are they now? And are they thriving, or have they kind of gone backwards? But I think it's important to acknowledge that there's a whole group of people out there that have probably just been missed and or forgotten about. And if you have any connection to anyone that owned a group home or a residential care facility, check on them, because their lives were upended, more than just a business, but they've lost people who have perished since then as well. So I wanted to just highlight the article and get people to thinking about that, because there's a whole nother segment of people that, were probably either forgotten about or unknown, and some may or may not be here and we just don't know. But the impact of this fire is very broad and wide reaching and long. It's going to be a long impact as well, I think. Yeah. Any questions on that, Brandon or Jamal? Oh God, Brian, I'm so sorry. I see Jamal over your shoulder, right? I literally said, or Jamal.
Well, I'm gonna answer like Jamal. Well, it's very impactful that these things happen, but we must persevere. Be there for our fellow man.
He is very
He probably watching going, I don't even talk like that.
No, that's more your speak, but yes, very calm. He said something to me yesterday. It was so funny because all I could do was agree with him because we were talking about bringing someone on or not. And I said, well, you could bring them on if you want to. I've talked to them and I'm not going to bring them on. And these are my reasons, because he wanted to know what my reasons were, right? And so I told him, and he was like, I said, but you can because you're a different person. He said, yeah, I'm not quite as aggressive. I said, yeah, you can say it because I'm gonna get aggressive, and if they're on some BS, I'm calling them out, right?
Show us the Monica Lewinsky tapes.
So it was so funny because we each have our personalities and how we interact with people and how we interview people. And he said it, and all I could do was laugh and tell him, I said, it's okay to say it. I am totally different than you. But he's just such a mellow, smooth talker. Like, what was that? I called it Jamal After Dark talk. But yeah.
With 5 females, including the dog, in the house, you have to have some sort of woosah going on in your life.
Wait, I just saw a comment. Can you bring that up? This is internal. Brandon said Art House was destroyed by the fire. Start House sustained extensive damage from a fallen tree. The 64 residents across these and other facilities were relocated to a former residential program in Whittier, where they continue to take part in group therapy and counseling, including PTSD support spectrum. PTSD support. And that was on Spectrum Local News. I don't know what Art House was, but I will look that up.
That's one of the what? Group homes.
Okay, Art House. Thank you, Brandon. And see, 64 residents, oh my gosh, for them to have to move from Altadena, be relocated to Whittier, the surroundings are totally different. And then absolutely they should be in their counseling and their PTSD support, because definitely it is. And so thank you. You found that on Spectrum Local News. So that's good, because there are places or people thinking about this and putting it out there. And that's part of, what I just wanted to take a minute to discuss or talk about today, because, and if you know anybody that's directly been impacted because they were in a group home and had to move, or a residential care facility, take the extra time to go visit them, to call them or something, right? To check on them, because it's been crazy for everybody, but to also have a living situation like that, and you've had to now be relocated, can be really tough. Good morning, Marcus. So yeah, I think those are some really important things to think about and to discuss. But we are going to slide right into these slides, and I'm going to do them. Slide.
Hey, baby, slide. Okay, hold on. Let me.
And I'm going to.
How he does it.
I'm going to try my best to make
her Toni After Dark voice.
I'm going to try my best to make Jamal proud in reading these slides, because one time before when he was out and I did them, I was fumbling over words and all kind of stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, this is harder than I thought. So I'm going to do them today.
And you know me, when you say a new word, I'm going to use that throughout the show.
So I'm going to take my time to read them and get these slides correct.
All right, I got to do this the way he does it. He always removes everything.
Oh, yes.
Remove everything, and then we'll do the intro.
Let me get back.
That wasn't supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen.
You guys were amateurs at this, okay?
Yes, we are.
Jamal is not. We are.
Okay,
all
here
right.
we go. Now we get to it.
All righty. So
You have control now of the slides, so don't forget that they're not going to move automatically.
on their own, right? I will do that. So the Altadena Community Center Survivor Support Location. It says we're here for you. FEMA, SBA, DCBA. I don't know what DCBA is. Treasurer and tax collector and the assessor office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They are now closed on the weekends. And where is it? Oh, 730 East Altadena Drive. I had the full screen and I couldn't see it. 730 East Altadena Drive. So I got to put my glasses on because if it's not full screen, I can't really read it, y'all. Transparent moment. 730 East Altadena Drive. I think that's right there next to the sheriff's station, south of the Rite Aid location on Altadena Drive at the community center. Yeah, that's where it is. And then the next slide is the LA County One Stop Permit Center, which is still located at 464 West Woodbury Road, Suite 210 in Altadena. Their walk-in hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. That is west of Lincoln on Woodbury on the south side of the street. They have rebuild consultation appointments available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and then 8 a.m. to noon on Saturday. And then Southern California Edison planner appointments are available Monday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to noon. And so you can go to the https://recovery.lacounty.gov/rebuilding. Look, just pull up LA County Recovery and y'all or Google. I'm like, way too long to be reading. Or One Stop Permit Center. Trust me, I have Googled LA County Recovery and it will come up and then you can search that site for the One Stop Permit Center. So
my father is going to call me later and say, that Toni lady. I don't know.
That's so ridiculous. Anywho, okay, and then fee waivers and refunds. We know that LA County has approved it, but you actually have to apply for your waiver or your refund if you've already sent in money, checks to them to do that. So LA County is waiving and rebuilding permit fees for homeowners rebuilding after the Eaton and Palisades fires. Homeowners who have already paid their fees will be refunded, and homeowners who have not yet paid their fees will have them waived. To qualify, the applicant must prove that they both owned and lived on the property prior to January 7th, 2025. But you do have to actually apply for it. It's just not given. What projects are eligible for these waivers? It is the replacement of a single family home destroyed by either the Eaton or Palisade fires. It includes accessory structures, which are garages, ADUs, pools, etc., and standalone ADUs for temporary occupancy during rebuilding. What's not eligible is a commercial building, a rental property, multifamily, or temporary housing projects, and properties not damaged by the fires. So if you had a property that you just want to build on, but it wasn't damaged by the fire, you will not get a fee waiver. If you were in a rental unit or owned a rental, they will not allow that. If it was a multifamily, temporary, or commercial, those will not be allowed. And in order to apply for the fee waiver or refund, you fill out the request for fire rebuild waiver or refund form. That's a mouthful. You can submit that via email to recovery@planning.lacounty.gov or in person. One form covers all departments. There's no need to submit multiple forms multiple times to multiple agencies. Okay. You can also scan this QR code that we have in front of you to be able, although I don't know if you would see the whole thing because our comments are partially covering that.
I think it will still scan. I'm going to try it right now.
Okay, cool.
It'll still stand.
Or you can go to recovery.lacounty.gov for that as well. So, got through that one. Very good, very good. Now, the Callisis Mortgage Fund, that is still happening. You can still apply. The funds are available until they run out. So the more people from Eaton and Palisades fires that apply for it and are granted assistance, when that money is gone, that money is gone. So if you think you need help with your mortgage up to $20,000 maximum, you can apply and be granted 3 months of mortgage payments for that. So the funds are a grant. They never have to be repaid, and it is free to apply. The grants are not paid to you, which is great, because if they are, they would be counted as income. They are paid directly to the mortgage servicer, and grants will be awarded to eligible applicants as funds are available. If you are eligible, you need the following. Primary residence was destroyed or is totally uninhabitable due to a qualified disaster from January 1st, 2023 to January 8th, 2025. So those LA County wildfires definitely are part of it in Palisades and Eaton. You had to have owned and occupied your home with up to 4 units on the property, and you have to meet the program income limits, which in Los Angeles County is $140,700. One of the things that you should prepare to do for doing this application is get your mortgage statement. You can probably find that online. Get your bank statements, a utility bill, your homeowner's insurance, and proof of income. If you have all of those, then definitely go to calassistmortgagefund.org. That is at the top. If you need help, you can call Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 at 800-501-0019.
Now, we've announced this same one for like about a month now. So if you haven't applied yet,
About 2 months.
Tell you. Yeah.
And you can also, if you really feel like you need in-person application help, there are 2 locations that you can go to. And the one that we just talked about, the Altadena Community Center at 730 East Altadena Drive, would be the one for Altadena people or people impacted by the Eaton fire. The other one for those who may be watching that were impacted by the Palisades fire, or if you're in LA right now temporarily and we're impacted by Altadena, you can still go to the one in LA, which is the One Stop Rebuilding Center at 1828 Sawtelle Boulevard in Los Angeles, 90025. And that's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They are closed weekends and holidays. And then we have this Altadena community meeting that Catherine Barger and LA County Recovers will be hosting and putting on. It is coming up on Monday, August 11th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that is always online. And what you can do is log in. Many people have been on them since the beginning. But if you have questions, you would go to the bit.ly link, which is bit.ly/ACM 081125. So they always do it with the date of the meeting. They need to be submitted by Sunday, August 10th at 1 p.m. And to watch it, you can go directly to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@ County of Los Angeles Newsroom. But you can always go to the Altadena community meetings on those Mondays from 4 to 5, hear what they're talking about, get the information that you need to be in the know, right? I've joined several. I'm probably going to be on this one Monday as well because I want to know what they're talking about. You can also get more information at recovery.lacounty.gov/Altadena. Everything having to do with Altadena, you can go there, and then there are other links below, okay? And then we will be talking next about the Project Passion, which is Brandon Lamar. Every Monday Freedom Shop for the Eaton fire survivors. This is by appointment only. It started August 4th, this past Monday. It's over at the Harambe campus at 1609 Navarro in Pasadena, and it's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There are items such as toiletries, home essentials, much more, but you have to make sure that you are booking an appointment, and then you're using the QR code either that's on to book the appointment. I'm sorry. You can either scan this QR code, or you can go to the Tiny URL, which is https://tinyurl.com/Harambe Freedom Store. So there are still lots of essentials and toiletries that a lot of organizations are receiving and giving out. So please, if you need it, go. Or if you know someone that needs it, go and get what you need. And then LA Fire Justice, this is an advertisement of theirs for the Eaton Fire. They are doing the Rebuilding 101. It's a workshop series that is ongoing, that is designed to provide a roadmap and answer questions about the rebuilding process. August 5th, they had the Permits, Plans, and Property Lines workshop. August 12th will be the Money Talks. August 19th will be Building Smart. And August 26th is the Contractor Conundrum. So they always have it at their office at 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100 in Pasadena. They will provide refreshments. And they have a flow at 6:30. They have opening remarks. At 6:45, the guest speakers come up and begin to talk. And by 7:30, they have Q&A. So it looks like they try to do these workshops in like an hour, hour and a half, so that people aren't just there all night, which is really good, right? Especially if people are getting off work and need to go and talk to someone if they do not understand this yet or do not have a contractor yet or whatever. All right. Then we've got the Journey of Love, Back to School Backpack and School Supplies Giveaway. Oh, that was yesterday. So sorry, this slide is still there. Anyway, I hope that people went last night between 5 and 7 over on 2150 Glen Rose Avenue in Altadena, because this was for kids affected by the fires in Altadena. It's great that they did this to piggyback on what happened Sunday at the Rose Bowl that Neighborhood Servants and Passion Project and many people collaborated on, so that our children, as they go back to school, I believe it's next Thursday?
The 14th.
Yeah, are equipped and ready to go. Now, this is also what Brian...
We out here.
Thank you. Every Wednesday, this happens from noon until 3 p.m. at Fair Oaks Burger at 2560. Why did I say Fair Oaks Burger like that? That reminds me of Kenan and Kel.
Right, good burger.
Good burger, right.
Welcome to Good Burger. How can I help you?
Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue. They have the free farmers market, the free vegan hot meals, groceries, hygiene products. They have a thrift store pop-up that's free. They have people there giving free legal advice, free love and prayers, and much more. It says, please bring your own bag. They are not supplying bags, so if you don't have a sturdy paper bag or a plastic bag from another grocery store, go buy yourself some of those bags that you can reuse and go and get what you need from the farmer's market or the groceries. Proof of Altadena residency is required. You must have some type of photo ID. The resources will vary each week, and this is a co-sponsor from Wildfire Recovery Attorneys, Support and Feed, Neighborhood Servants, home of King and Queens. I could barely read that, you guys.
That's what it is.
Project Passion, Hollywood Food Coalition, Armor of God. Does it say Black Freedom Fund? And then something else with the hands up. I'm not sure what that one may say underneath. But definitely go if you need still groceries or whatever and you were impacted by the fires. Super thankful that that's still happening. And then on
Right.
Wednesday night, well, this was yesterday too, not Wednesday night. This was yesterday between 12:30 and 2:30 for Altadena kids and families. I hope that you had the opportunity to go, but that looks like that was a juicy little production or something.
Yeah, it was at
That
the same spot, Christmas in July or Christmas
right,
in August.
and pretty much those same sponsors. So that's really good. Um, Yesterday, but then again on Wednesday the 20th in a couple of weeks at the Altadena Main Library. There from 11 a.m. to noon. Wow, that's only 1 hour. But anyway, there's a community food distribution for those impacted by the Eaton
Get
fire.
out.
Right, an hour. So it says stop by the Altadena Library to pick up a bag of fresh produce, courtesy of the Hollywood Food Coalition. Thank you, Hollywood Food Coalition, for being there for that hour on those days, or hour and a half, or whatever. But supplies are limited, first come, first served. If you can, of course, they need you to also bring your own bag. But it is the Altadena Libraries. The mission of the Hollywood Food Coalition is to nourish the community by rescuing and distributing food, prepared nightly meals, and uniting efforts to achieve food equity. Oh, so that's the Hollywood Food Coalition with the hands up. Okay. So the next one will be Wednesday, August 20th from 11 a.m. to noon.
Their,
And
their,
then
their website is hofoco.org. Hofoco.
Ofoco. Oh, it
The
makes sense.
Hollywood Food Coalition.
Yeah, that's cool. And then the wildfire tenant support clinics are free services that are offered to wildfire impacted renters. Oh, that's really good. That's the Inner City Law Center, because we always hear from renters that they were kind of forgotten about or whatever. But it's free legal advice for housing related issues like evictions and lockouts, fire damage repairs and rent reductions, lease terminations, and security deposit refunds. And then they have free help with replacing vital documents like your ID and driver's licenses, your social security cards, birth, marriage, and death certificates as needed. This happens every first and third Wednesdays from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Church at 301 North Orange Grove Boulevard in Pasadena. And they have upcoming clinics that are August 20th. That's the last of this group of of upcoming clinics, because they just had one yesterday. You can email Jay Smalley, JSMALLEY at inner, INNER, citylaw.org, or call area code 213-891-2880 to schedule an appointment at the next Wildfire Tenant Support Clinic. And then our next slide
He started off excited and he got to the 17th slide. And now we're going to go slowly into smooth jazz.
into the smooth jazz of the Paseo and Soul to Soul Solutions in association with Jazzy Jam for Empowerment, which we know is our very own Denian, which is Jackie Snail. They are presenting Jazz at the Paseo Summer Series. This will be the third one. They are Thursdays. The July 31st one was last week, and there are two more. There was one also at the end of June, but August 28th and September 25th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. in the courtyard. It is a free event, but you are encouraged to RSVP in advance. It's at 300 East 300 Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. So RSVPing, there are seats with tables and chairs, and there's a bunch of they put the white plastic chairs out, and then people bring their own folding chairs and everything. So seating's not technically really limited, but if you want one of the better seats, you are encouraged to RSVP in advance. I was at the first one in June last week. I had planned and intended to go, but you guys know I was sick. So I stayed my patootie right in this house because whatever little cooties I had, I wasn't going to be out in public giving them to anybody. So I did not go, but I will be there at August 28th and September 5th. It's wonderful. It's very much needed for the community. People that hadn't seen neighbors or friends, really other than talking to them or texting, were able to see one another and hug. And it was really nice. And you can also bring like your own like food, meaning if you have, buy you a sandwich or a little meal to bring out and eat while you're there, or people brought cheese and crackers and, all kind of stuff. You just bring your own stuff and it's nice. So that is the next one, August 28th, which is a Thursday at the end of this month. And then for ages 0 to 18, make sure you guys see that, ages 0 to 18. Don't just be showing up unless you're 0 to 18. Although zero years old is probably not eating food from the free lunch. They're probably
not even 6 months.
Not from the free lunch, right? No. Not even probably 2. But they do have free lunch at the library Monday through Friday, August 9th through August 15th. So we've got until next week, Friday, because once kids are back in school, this is no longer happening. But it's from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Jefferson Branch Library and the Villa Park Branch Library. So thank you very much, City of Pasadena Public Libraries and the California State Library System as well for hosting these free lunch at the libraries, because food insecurity is real. And there are times when children who are at home during the summer do not eat. And so if they don't have this free lunch, they may not, they have that food insecurity and may not eat. And we don't want that to happen to anyone, right? Any little people, anyone, period. But these little people that are in school and growing and really need that nutrition, we definitely want to make sure they have it. So the next is about the free mobile laundry services. Let me tell you something right now. The chore I hate more than anything on this planet is laundry, because I will do it, and I have like these extra size washer and dryer, right, that are front loaders. It's like the hugest one you can get at the laundromat or whatever. I have those at my house, and I have no problem putting stuff in the washer and no problem putting stuff in the dryer. But once it's done, that means I got to fold it or hang it or put it away or whatever. And that is such an incredible, tedious chore that I hate. Right. And a lot of times the stuff gets on my bed and it'll be on half of my bed and I'll just pick clothes from there, right? I'm trying to get better about it, but that's the truth. So the fact that free mobile laundry services are happening, supporting community members impacted by the fires. Now, look, just because I hate laundry, I would never go take advantage of this because my house did not burn down. But for people that did, for people who were really impacted harshly and they are, struggling. There's a lot of people really still struggling 7 months later, don't have permanent housing. Some people have resorted to staying in their cars. Please go and take advantage of this because it is here for you. The LaundryTruckLA.com is supporting community members impacted by the fires. On Tuesdays, they're at the Pasadena Sierra Madre YMCA, which is 611 East Sierra Madre Boulevard. And you can drop your laundry off from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. On Wednesdays, they're on Lincoln at the Altadena Adventist Church, which is 2609 Lincoln. That's on Lincoln and not Harriet. What is that street? Ventura? Anyway, it's right there. Ventura, everybody knows. Ventura? Yeah. And Lincoln on the west side of the street. Everybody pretty much knows, but you can drop your laundry off from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. there. On Wednesdays, also at FAME, First AME Church, at 1700 North Raymond Avenue from 9 to 11. You can drop it off, your laundry. And then on Saturdays in South Pasadena at the San Marino YMCA, or at the South Pass in San Marino YMCA, which I believe it serves as both, at 1605 Garfield Avenue in South Pasadena between 9 and 11. And then on Sundays between 9 and 11, again at the First AME Church on Raymond, 1700 North Raymond. So they've got 5 locations, several different days that you can drop it off. And I believe they will just continue to take it until their capacity is reached. You bring your dirty laundry in, they will wash, dry, fold it, and they will return it. Oh, not the next day or two, the next couple of hours. Baby, let me tell you, I would be taking advantage of that service because I hate laundry. But anywho, and even support like the Laundry Truck LA. I think that's amazing. We can follow them on IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or you can go to the laundrytruckla.com. And they are giving a special thanks to Anthem for their generous support to all the communities. They are probably sponsoring it and helping pay for the water, the detergent, whatever. But please go take advantage of that if you need that service. Brian, anybody you know. And the farmers market schedule for the free farmers market has changed. And so the new hours for that are Fridays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. or until supplies run out. They said that the community asked, and they listened. And you can find them at 3541 Brandon Street.
Brandon Street.
Brandon. Hey, Brandon, they got your street up
funny.
there. Brandon.
While you're announcing it, I'm looking at him smiling.
I saw
He's like,
Brandon Street. Brandon's sitting right there. And just for people, look, Brandon Street is not in Altadena. It's in Pasadena, but it's on the east side near Rosemead and Colorado area. So just know you're going to have to put that address in and find it, 3541 Brandon Street. But that's where the new farmers market is, and the hours are 5 to 6:30 p.m. on Fridays, or until supplies run out. So we're coming down to the lower end of the slides. I think we have 4 or 5 left, but the Concert in the Park series has live music from Y2K2K. All righty. Saturday, August 9th, that's this Saturday, from 6 to 9 p.m. in Victory Park. This is sponsored by City Pasadena. This is the 14th annual Parks After Dark.
So Parks After Dark is actually a good thing for the kids because it's hot. They open up the pools after dark. I know at Jackie Robinson for sure. And it's really been, I'm surprised that they actually have it because of all the cuts that they've been suffering. But yeah, that's a good thing for the kids. I wish they had that when we were little. We had to jump over the fence and be in there unattended. The good old days.
No hooligans. Okay, so let me see this. What's next on the agenda? The concerts in the park presented by the Rotary Club of Altadena in cooperation with LA County Parks and Recreations. This is the 28th annual concert series for 2025. All of these concerts are free, and they are on the lower side of Lomount Park, where all the grass is below the equestrian center. That's where these have been. They are free. They start at 7 p.m. on the following Saturdays that are still remaining, which is this Saturday, August 9th. And
there's only one left.
Yeah, and a band called Upstream will be there because they have done the other 5. And so thanks, Altadena Rotary and LA County. And then this Saturday, you all, here is another one, and I'm super excited about it. But it is another back to school giveaway. This is the Darden Leadership and Career Academy, in conjunction with Simply Divine Academy, are presenting the 5th annual back to school giveaway. Saturday from August 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be community resources. There will be free haircuts, backpacks, and school supplies. Everyone must register. Hold on, I gotta lower this screen. And it's for one day only, but it's That's for sure the Simply Divine Academy. I think you have to register for the haircuts. That is August. Oh, wait a minute.
August 9th in Monrovia.
And August 16th.
in
Okay,
Alpharetta.
so August
So they
9th.
have a new location at the end of Las Robles on Woodbury.
Okay, so what she's doing is having it at the academy. Got it. So for the
Mhm.
free haircuts from 10 to 2 and the back to school giveaway, you've got to, if you want to go to Monrovia at 301 West Huntington, because her place, the academy is actually there, is August 9th this Saturday. The following Saturday, August 16th at 421 East Woodbury Road in Altadena. That is where her new shop or salon or academy is.
Well, both
And
of them. She's got the salon, the supply shop on the left
supply
side.
and the academy, right. And so Darden Leadership and Career Academy, Becker Law Group, Altadena Coalition, Alta Design Works, LA Fire Justice, MDBAA, which is the Monrovia Duarte Business Association, something, Athens Services, and Simply Divine Academy are all co-sponsoring with this event and taking care of the kiddos for the back to school giveaway, backpacks and school supplies and haircuts. So make sure you go to one of those QR codes and register, or pass that information on to someone that you know who their child needs that. And then this Sunday, August the 10th, Cues in the Grass. The Zeta Tau chapter of this fraternity is having Cues in the Grass, a live concert.
Yeah, Omega Sci-Fi's.
A live jazz concert experience in the park featuring the John Turbasso Youth Jazz Ensemble and the Michael Higgins Band. They were both up at Lone Mountain Park not long ago. Mm-hmm. And the platinum sponsors are Hope Now Community Resource Center and Williams Rebuild. And it is Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. It costs $30. It is not free. So if you plan on being there with the Cues in the Grass, you will need to do $30. You can either you can use the QR code, or you can contact them at 626-394-9795. And it is in Memorial Park where that amphitheater dome is. That is on Holly in Pasadena, 85 East Holly Street. And looks like we have one more backpack giveaway. This is Hope Now. Hope Now is an organization that was founded and it's run by, is her name Dorothy? Yes.
Dorothy Evans. She also was a platinum sponsor for the previous life.
Yep. Dorothy Evans. And everybody knows Mama Dorothy, Bishop Evans, who is now.
Dorothy.
But yeah, this is door 2. So Hope Now presents a backpack giveaway August 15th at 10 a.m. while supplies last. That's August 15th is next Friday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And school starts on the 14th?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Either way, bags and school supplies. They will hold reserve bags until 6:30 p.m. To reserve a bag. Oh, that makes sense. If it starts at 10 a.m. and kids are in school, you can call and reserve a bag and they'll hold it. But in order to reserve it, you either call 626-817-3910 or email info@hopenowwcrc.org. They are at 1800 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena, which is just below Elizabeth, and they are on the east side of the street.
No, they're actually on the corner of Woodbury and Lake.
Huh?
Yeah.
On the south corner.
Uh-huh.
What did I say, Elizabeth? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Elizabeth. Yeah. Across from St. Elizabeth.
That's where Louisiana Fried Chicken is.
Yeah. Across from St. Elizabeth School. That's what I was thinking. St. Elizabeth School and St. Elizabeth. So yes, Woodbury on the southeast corner. And that is it. Now we have a purple slide.
She done made it through the fire, through the storm. She done made it.
We made it through the slides.
Right. Never would have made it without your board loading them. And so my sharing was kind of thwarted on the phone. It was like, you are not allowed. So I had to go do it by hand on the computer. So perfect that we had this many slides because I got them all in.
So we
You did a good job today, and we got 50 seconds left to close out.
Yep.
We got 1
We're
hour.
right at an hour. Very good. Tony Talks tries to limit these shows to an hour. We try to start on time. We're a little late today. But on Tuesday, on the Tony Talk show, we will have Jennifer Gray Thompson, who is the founder and CEO of After the Fire. She will be on for that hour. So make sure you're tuned in. We'll have some promo videos out shortly. Brian's probably working on those today. And then next week we will begin to have builders come back. I think we potentially may have an attorney come on next week as well. We're working that out. But we're getting back to actually having, people that we really want.
We couldn't pop you up earlier.
Hey, Tristana, on the show. So thank you all for Altadena CLT workshop. I don't know what that was. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in today. We didn't have a special guest.
That's Collective Land Trust or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Altadena Collective Land Trust. Okay. For the guests got pulled into another meeting, but we still talked about a lot of the impacts. We can go back and maybe put that that link up, Brian, to the study that I read about. It's in the Pasadena Star News, and you can click within that article to go to the actual study. But it is talking about, did the Eaton and Palisades fires lead to 440 more LA County deaths? And this particular study that we read about says so. So even though there's 31 official, people who didn't make it out of their homes or whatever, the residual impact from the fire, from health problems, from an interruption in their normalcy of life and of, going to the doctor, others that were in group homes or residential care facilities, all kinds of stuff. I think that number will probably grow because this particular study was done from January 5th, which is when the Palisades fire started, through February 1st. But we're 7 months out. And we know a lot more people have passed away. And so we'll find out maybe within the year or something what the real impacts of these fires were. So thank you all for joining us today for Tony Talks and indulging me in both talking about this and doing those 25 slides. Jamal, hopefully I did them well and made you proud. And then we get back to some of the special guests next week. We'll be back for I have about 6 weeks of guests. So every Tuesday and Thursday, there may be some others that pop in Fridays or Wednesdays or whatever, but we'll make accommodations as we need to. So thank you all for being here today. Have a wonderful Thursday. We will be here with you tomorrow. And toodles.
Turn your volumes down.
Oh, let me do it right now. Hold up. Okay, go.
I think we got one more comment. Hold on for a second.
I can't hear you. My volume's down.
We got, thank you so much for all you do. One love. Thank you, Marcus. Peace.